It is one of our favorites. Many people refer to it as Victoria Park.
It's starting to, yes.
Yes, but there are many other names, such as Indian Cliffs Park, and of course it's a center of activity. We have a dance pavilion, small one, over to our left, and of course we have the famous Elora Rocks here. We have the natural caves, the rushing Irvine and Grand Rivers, and
the cliffs on either side.
That's right, and the Lover's Leap, a natural beauty spot, and of course originally completely forested and probably a spot of great reverence for the indigenous peoples of our area.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're coming back to that. We're looking at this with greater respect than ever before now in the 1930s.
And we have heard that in the Ojibwe language, this area was called Kanducha.
Ah, yes.
Lovely name. You remember the translation?
Yes, I believe I do.
Singing Waters.
Singing Waters, and of course it makes sense because the Lover's Leap is where the waters meet, the Grand and the Irvine, coming together in bubbling froth. Very impressive. Shall we walk down through the park and see what specimens still remain from those bygone days?
All right, we are at one of our more distinctive trees that the early settlers weren't that interested in, partly because it was, of course, so hard, and hence the name Ironwood, but for some folks, they referred to it as the lever tree. Not only did some of the branches make good levers to pry big chunks of limestone out of the ground and other difficult tasks.
Exactly. If they could find a straight branch, because as you can see, some of them are quite twisted and crooked.
Yes.
That would be
although sometimes the curvature of the branch allowed that lever to be more effective.
Mm-hmm.
But some people just called it the lever tree because they just left it here. And so they would say, let's just lever.
And the reason they left it is that it's so hard it would dull their axes and saws. So why bother?
That's
it's
right.
going to put that much of a strain on it.
That's right.
And
it just wasn't worth the effort.
This trunk isn't that large, so you would mistake it for a younger tree.
Right, yes.
But this is upwards of 900 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And perhaps 1,000.
The same as you are sometimes mistaken for a younger man.
Yes. So the other thing about the Ironwood, what I wanted to know whether it was and we'll get a better shot of them later, but it's known as the hop hornbeam in England, and the hops are the yellowish fruit on it, and I wondered if they had ever been used for any purpose, and they weren't used in the making of beer at all.
I was going to ask that very question.
They may have been used by the Ojibwe for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
We know that its cousin, the common hop tree, was used for some treatment of headaches. But that tree, apparently the hops smell like rotting flesh.
Oh.
But rather unpleasant. Now, we don't get any of that aroma from these, but
no.
They did use the hop for some of those purposes.
Right. And from here, of course, it's a short hop to the Lover's Leap and the magnificence of the Elora Rocks.
Well, that is a good point.
Yes.